But props to Cody Stamann for putting through the fight. Woo! Shit. How far was that? Guys, can you see me? Just want you to see something. Sat here, recorded 10 minutes of Sports with Life podcast, episode 51. And, didn't have it plugged in. We're redoing this. Players, welcome. Welcome to Sports with Life podcast, episode number 51. Episode number 51, the Ichiro Suzuki of the Sports with Life podcast. Wait. Ichiro Suzuki episode of the Sports with Life podcast. And Ichiro Suzuki, it just stands out. I think just selected to the Hall of Fame as well. If I'm not mistaken, I got to look it up. I'm going to look it up right now. No, I won't. We don't have time for that because of what just happened. You probably just saw that right now I recorded 10 minutes of the Sports with Life podcast without the mic plugged in. I deserve that. That's my fault. It's for me being too excited to come on the Sports with Life podcast and talk to you guys about UFC 250. What a good weekend. What a good fight card it was. A few things to talk about from over the weekend. And I watched the UFC 250. Great card. Very great card. I actually put bets down on the card. My first time betting because it just became legal here in my state last month. And I'm able to bet now, which was really cool because, I don't mind losing $5 every now and then, you know. I did put $5 down on a 4-fight parlay, which we'll definitely talk about. I put Cody Stamann versus Brian Kelleher. What was the other one? I remember the other one. Cody Stamann versus Brian Kelleher. Let's take a look here. I think I took Sean O'Malley over Eddie Wineland. And then I took Cody Sandhagen over Aljamain Sterling and Amanda Nunes over Spencer. If you were new to the fights, you already knew what happened. We'll talk about that here in a second. But yeah, betting was pretty fun. I like it. If you have like $5 to spare and there's a bunch of shit you could bet on too. There's prop bets where, like, for example, in the Super Bowl, there's prop bets saying, what do you think the coin is going to land on, heads or tails? How long do you think the national anthem is going to last? Yeah, I don't know. Is there going to be rain or just shit like that? Just those are prop bets. I believe I'm mistaken. I have to check out the verbiage. You can bet on anything. You can bet on live too, so the odds change as the fight goes on. And you can, and like I said, MMA is probably a cool thing to follow, especially if, for some crazy like, I don't know, for like Holly Holm to, let's say for example, Holly Holm, one of the biggest upsets in UFC history over Ronda Rousey. Let's say Ronda Rousey's beating her for 3 rounds. Your odds increase, or decrease depending on how you're looking at. So the money, I think the money gets a little bit bigger. So for example, plus 900. I started learning this weekend too. I'm stupid when it comes to betting. So I think if it's plus 900, you put 100 down to win that amount of money, I believe is what it is. So I think so. Yeah, so it's plus 900, you put 100 down, you win $900 or something like that. And then if it's like minus 125, you have to put 125 to win 100. I can't remember. Anyways, so the odds get better, different. So for example, like Holly Holm just throws a freaking head kick from Mars in the 5th round, and you bet Holly Holm to win in that 5th round, then the odds just get better. It's just different. I don't know how to explain it. but it's pretty cool. It's not sponsored, but I was using DraftKings Sportbook or DraftKings Betting. It's on my phone, which I'm recording on. I can't tell what it is. Let me see here. DraftKings Sportsbook. That's what it is right there. DraftKings Sportsbook, which is pretty cool. I usually do DraftKings during, throughout the year, soccer, football, MMA as well. Didn't do too good on that this weekend either. We'll get to that here in a second. But yeah, check it out. It's pretty fun. I like it. I dig it. I don't mind losing a couple chucks here and there, just is what it is. Especially with sports coming back, it makes it a little bit more exciting, fun to watch. So we'll see. But anyways, UFC 250, full of bangers. Here we like bangers. That was full of bangers. UFC 250, Amanda Nunes versus Felicia Spencer. We're going to start there. Women first. Amanda Nunes versus Felicia Spencer. Two things I took away from this fight. Amanda Nunes is the queen of MMA, the GOAT of women's MMA. Felicia Spencer is one of the toughest women. I'm not even going to call her chick. Toughest women in the sport. We'll get to Amanda Nunes, but I want to talk about Felicia Spencer real quick. Felicia Spencer, because those of you did watch the fight, Amanda Nunes did win handily. But Felicia Spencer, if you guys don't know who Felicia Spencer, took a short notice fight against Cyborg, took this fight against Amanda Nunes, beat the other contender, which would have been Megan Anderson. I don't know, and I don't think, I have to dig deep a little bit, do a little bit of comparison. I don't think anyone has gone full rounds with Cyborg and Amanda Nunes. I just don't think anyone else has. She is so tough, Felicia Spencer. As good old JR would say, she's tougher than a $2 steak. She took and she kept fighting back. She took a beat down and she kept fighting back. She never stopped fighting. I think she got rocked once or twice in that. I remember the fourth round. Just a tough chick. I don't know. We talked about this before, but someone tougher. Just like very similar to Willie Zhang and then Joanna Champion. Those are two tough chicks, but this is something different. Amanda Nunes was doing what she wanted whenever she wanted, and Felicia Spencer stood in there with the GOAT, the queen of MMA, and went in 5 rounds. There's nobody on this planet, I don't think they can say they went full rounds with Cyborg and Amanda Nunes. Nobody. I don't think there's anybody who can say that. And that just proves to her toughness. Just unbelievable. I was blown away. I couldn't believe you couldn't put her away. She could not be put away. Defended submissions. She was fighting. I don't know what else to say. It was it was amazing. But on the other hand, she fought the queen of MMA, Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes put on the clinic and was smiling the whole time. She made history, I think, by being the only one to wait, let me double check here. To hold both belts, two different weight classes, and defend them. The only one to do that. Nobody else can say that. And she's definitely top 5 fighter of all time. Probably second to John Jones. I think you're going to have to give her that. Probably. I want to review everything. I want to make sure I give an educated answer. I want to be educated before I talk on that, but there's a asterisk, question mark, hyphen, is she the GOAT? Second GOAT. So we'll see. We'll talk about that next time. Not going to talk about it today, but what a performance by Amanda Leona. Is it Lioness? Amanda Nunes. I'm going to take a look. You got to get her name right. She's a queen. You get her name right. You kneel. You bend at the knee. You do all that. Kiss the ring, whatever you want to do. Amanda. The Lioness. Amanda Lioness Nunez. She's expecting. Her and her girlfriend are expecting. I think I talked about that already. Dude. How old is she? 32 years old? Tough chick. And I think there was a video of her fighting guys, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look here because I want to see. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. Look at this douchey shit. So I Googled it. I Googled Manny Nunez fight a man. The first stupid thing I see is Amanda Nunez male. I'm going to slap the shit out of someone. Put that. No, she's not. Oh my God, dude. What the fuck? But by the way, Manny Nunez, tough individual. I just can't get over what a performance she put on. She put hands, feet. Very complete, and did the grappling. Very complete performance. Mixing the hands, the feet, the boxing, the kickboxing. Defended very well. Defended takedowns very well, and also did very well in the grappling. Almost finished the fight in the second or third round, I believe, with the submission. Maybe in the fourth round. I think it was the fourth round where what's name got rocked too. So that all happened in like one sequence at the end of the round. Yeah, you just can't deny her the queen of MMA. You just can't. I don't think there's anyone else who could touch her right now. The only other person I think could touch her, the only thing that I think would be next for her will be a fight with Valentina Shevchenko for the 135 championship. That's it. Valentina Shevchenko, my old lady, 125-pound champion. Manny Nunez, 135, 145 champion. So we'll see. We are going to see. I don't know what's next. There's no Megan Anderson. I don't even know. I think Megan Anderson looked good in her last one, but who fought on the last card, the same card as Felicia Spencer. And I think Felicia Spencer deserved to be in that, the way she survived. Who knows? There's like she's just beat up everybody. She's taking out the top part. Ronda Rousey is supposed to be the beast. Knocked her out very quickly. Knocked out Cyborg. Gotten toe to toe with Valentina Shevchenko, who looks amazing as of late, and beat her by decision, mind you. So Valentina Shevchenko has got. I think this happened twice too, if I'm not mistaken. Let's pull it up. Got it pulled up because people are stupid. Take a look here. Once, twice, 2 decisions. 1 unanimous, 1 a split decision. 2015, 2017. So, and her last loss, 2014, to Kat Zingano. That's one person I feel bad for. Kat Zingano was the last person to beat her. Had a rough outing after the fact because she beat Zingano. I think she beat Zingano, beat her, but ended up losing to Ronda Rousey. I think. Yep. The next fight, then lost to Juliana Pena by decision. Then by decision, beat Renaud, and then lost to Megan Anderson. Eye injury, TKO. So she hasn't had a good run now in Bellator, but that's besides the point. Raquel Pennington. Did not know that. But yeah, of course, who knows what's next for Amanda Nunez? She's gonna. She's made history though. She made history, and Ken Zingano on 80 North Americans. Okay, anyway, sorry, just saw that. 80cc, when you guys remember, that just popped up. You guys remember last episode of the Sports All Light podcast talking about Gilbert Burns. Well, not episode, I think on the mashup episode of the Most Underrated podcast, I believe I said that on there. 80cc, one of the more important jiu-jitsu tournaments out there. Anyways, so I had the point. Manny Nunez, the queen, the GOAT, the lioness. Can't take that away from her. Can't take it away from her. But In other news, in the co-main event, it was Cody Garbrandt versus Rafael Sensao, and Rafael Sensao got sent, hopefully into next year, because 2020 has not been good. Hopefully Cody Garbrandt send him to the future, and he could take us with me. If that worked, I want Cody Garbrandt to knock me the fuck into 2021, because I'm tired of this year. But man, I mean, Cody Garbrandt threw that punch, and he looks like he was reaching back to, like, you know, when you're a parent, like people, you reach back to grab one of your kids, and you yank them, but this time you didn't yank them, and then like you just take their toy and just like chuck it. But that's a bad analogy. It was like a hop step punch without the hop step. You know, a club punch, as Jamie Foxx would say, club punch. He comes down like Guile from Street Fighter and just goes whap, just boom, and knocks Assunção clean out. One punch, clean out, drops him. I've never seen anything like that. What a way to win. What a way to end your 3-fight skid. That's a good way to end your 3-fight skid. And now Assunção's on a 3-fight skid. That was amazing. And that was just like, I don't even know what it was. Like, you know, you make ice cream because it's a co-main event. Like, that's a whipped cream. And then Amanda Nunes was like the cherry on top of that card. It was crazy. He looked pretty good. Cody Garbrandt looked really good. Throwing different strikes, trying to keep Assunção off. Assunção was slow. It looked out of shape. That's what I noticed, the difference between the two. He looked very out of shape. But was he? I don't know if he was or not, but he didn't look in shape. Maybe it's age. Don't know what it is, but yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Can't explain. He kind of looked like Kung Lee. Kung Lee, you know, got a little older and was like lumbering around, but still throwing punches. You know, I don't know. But it was crazy. What a knockout. I think that one performance of the night, not knockout of the night, but performance of the night. May have gotten knockout of the night. I can't. I have to check this out because I don't want anyone to sit here and be like, Edgar, oh, you don't do research. I don't. That doesn't matter to me. Awards like that, he deserved it. Or if he did get knocked out of the night, he deserved it because he definitely got knocked out of the night. I don't know what else to say here. New Spencer. Let me see. It'll tell me right here. Hold on. Shit. Never mind. Not that. Looking for that one right there. It was at the Apex Center. I just forgot that. UFC Apex Center. That's where they have performance institution, where people can go get, all these fighters can get, you know, like this high-tech recovery and performance and training and stuff like that. Where's it at here? Oh, they were all performances tonight. Cody Garbrandt, Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, Alex Perez. All great performances. Highest earner on the card, I believe, was Amanda Nunes. Cool, $500,000. I never noticed that. They posted these on Wikipedia. Cool. But anyways, God, 96K a fight isn't too bad. I'll take that. I mean, let's say with taxes, fees, probably come away with what, 40, 45 a fight, and then you fight 3 times. That's 120. I don't know about that. Never mind. Anyways, we'll talk about that here in a second. Yeah, Cody Garbrandt knockout of the night. The fight before that was a Cody Sandhagen versus Aljamain Sterling, which is the one I bet on. And Aljamain Sterling, Aljo, as I like to call him, which I didn't do my research. I said he's, you know, blah, blah, blah. He actually won his last 5 fights before this. Last 4 or 5 fights before coming into this fight, since losing to Marlon Moraes. And he jumped on Sandhagen. Sandhagen didn't know what the hell happened. It took Aljamain Sterling, I think, a minute to win the fight. I have it right here in front of me. Yep. minute 28 in the first round to win that fight. And just jumped all over him. Literally jumped all over. Took his back once. Sandhagen got out, then got his back taken again, and got the rear naked finish. I didn't see that coming. I thought Sandhagen was going to be more game than he was. Sandhagen actually had a little mouth on him. Talking about, I'm doing this, I need to deserve this, I need to do that. But Aljamain Sterling came out there, won his 5th or 6th fight in a row. And I think submitted his spot as the next challenger, whoever wins between Petr Yan and Jose Aldo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that was his 5th win in a row. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Aljo, this is what I said after the fight. Aljamain Sterling should fight Marlon Moraes for a number 1 contender match. That's just me. And the reason being, like, why not? Well, you're just going to leapfrog the guy who knocked him out cold. I just don't think that's going to happen. Because right now, Hassan Sal is number 1. Aljamain Sterling is number 2 in the rankings. If we're going off of rankings, there needs to be a contender fight right there. If you're going to make the Petr Yan versus Jose Aldo fight, because the reason why I think Petr Yan's deserving. But Jose Aldo, as you remember, lost to Marlon Moraes on the cards. No one else in that building thought he lost that fight. But they were going to try to make Jose Aldo versus Henry Cejudo for the championship. Now, Henry Cejudo retired, vacates the titles. And then now, they're going to make Petr Yan versus Jose Aldo. That's where they're making that fight. But they should make that Marlon Moraes versus Aljamain Sterling fight. I think that needs to be the next fight. Reason being is Marlon Moraes smoked Aljamain Sterling. I thought he killed Aljamain Sterling. And now Aljamain Sterling is going to leapfrog Moraes like that. This is just me talking. There's no facts behind this. Obviously, UFC runs on their own smoke, their own whatever engine. What am I trying to say here? Runs off their own shit. They do what they want, and Dana White has gone out and said he's a contender. So who knows what happens? Anything can happen. Anything can change. People get hurt. There could be an interim title, for all we know. So we'll see what happens when that comes through. Cody Sandhagen, man, he put me. By the way, I think there's 3 or 4 fighters from Denver or training out of Denver on this card. So Colorado's heavily represented. Anyways, speaking of Colorado, Neil Magny trains out of Denver. I think probably resides in Denver now. Neil Magny got a decision win over Anthony Rocco Martin, and it was a good one. That was a good fight. Rocco Martin had a good second round, but Magny took the first and third. Magny? I keep calling him Wagny. Neil Magny took the first and the third. Great fight. Don't want to beat too much, but the one I want to talk about right now, Sean O'Malley versus Eddie Wineland. Sean O'Malley knocking out Eddie Wineland in the first 2 minutes of the first round. Now, everyone's calling this one knockout of the night. Now, let me tell you why it's not knockout of the night. Because it took 2 punches. People aren't showing, the early replays aren't showing that right before that, he threw a head kick, but right before that head kick, he threw a punch that rocked him. Got his head still, got Eddie Wineland doing a little bit of a chicken dance. You know what I'm saying? Doing a little 2-step, little walk it out. And then kind of gained his composure. O'Malley threw a kick that, I don't know if Eddie Wineland took off autopilot, just ducked it. But then O'Malley throws a 1-2, and that 2, just a straight right, drops and knocks him out cold. So it took 2 punches. Not like Cody Garbrandt's 1-punch destroyer. But great performance. And great performance of Sean O'Malley. But real quick, I want to take a look at Sean O'Malley's resume. Who he's fought in the UFC. He's undefeated. So he's beat Eddie Wineland, Jose Quinones, Andre Sakama. Those are his fights. And then he also won Taryn Ware and Alfred Katsakian. I can't say the guy's name. The Andre Sagwa, that's the one he won decision on a broken fight. Dude, props to him, man. A broken foot, that's what I meant to say. Broken foot. He finished the fight. That's what I respect, man. He went out there, finished the fight on a broken foot, and still fought, dude. Still fought well. So I mean, that's the thing. You could look at Sean O'Malley and be like, he has a colored hair. Then he comes in with the dreadlocks or the cornrows. I'm sorry. In fight night, smokes a little bit of herb, CBD or whatever. Plays video games. The dude can fight. He comes out here and he scraps. But you're also finding someone like Eddie Wineland, who I believe is on the downside of his career. Jose Quinones, if I'm mistaken, out of UFC Mexico, Latin America, doesn't have had the best, the best fights either. Hasn't fought a lot of guys either, and so he's not really fought a bunch of tough guys. And now they're going to talk about reconstruction or re-signing or refiguring out, whatever you call your contract. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Is he a star in the making? Definitely is a star in the making. UFC's kind of like making it that way too. I don't know, man. I see him as a great fighter. I know about star. Because you also look, the guys I mentioned at 135 pounds, those are the type of guys you need to fight. Cody Garbrandt, Aljamain Sterling, Cody Sandhagen, Dominic Cruz. You can even throw Frankie Edgar now in the mix. So Sean O'Malley, I mean, he's great performances, but hasn't fought a complete fighter yet. I don't know what's going to happen with that dude, but he has the tools. And let's hope he gets his head on straight and still goes out there and bangs like he does every day. Every time he goes out there. He's still exciting to watch. So we'll see what happens. I'm just the type to be like, well, he hasn't fought anybody. That's me. I don't think he's fought anybody worth, to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, cool. Is he talented? Yes. But he isn't. I'm not that impressed right now. Right now. We'll see what happens. Couple other fights I want to talk about. I don't want to take two. It was a good fight, so I want to talk about a lot of the fights on here. Alex Caceres put on a great performance against Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper, the young kid, 19, 20 years old, 145 pounds, I believe this fight was at 145 pounds. Caceres drops him in the first round like a sack of potatoes. The fact that Chase Hooper comes back and still fights, still comes out fighting, very resilient kid, has a lot to learn. His dad, Ben Askren, tweeted out he needs help taking people down. And he was like, I'll gladly take this information from you. We'll see what happens there. And Ian Heinisch, another Denver, Colorado fighter, beat Gerald Meerschaert by TKO. Tough. Dude just throws his overhand right. Just peppers him with that overhand right and then finishes on the ground. Dude, Colorado's represented heavily. Has been represented heavily. You look at people like Justin Gaethje, training out of Colorado, from Arizona. Drew Dober, from Nebraska, but training in Colorado. So a lot of Colorado's represented heavily. And then Cody Stamann was the last fight I'm talking about here. And then one other fighter, but Cody Stamann. Props to Cody Stamann. One of my bets on here, the first fight I had. Didn't go my way. I took Brian Kelleher over Cody Stamann. And Cody Stamann fought a great fight. I would have never taken the bet if I would have known that Cody Stamann's brother had passed away about a week or so earlier. And he still fought. Composed. Still fought very, very well. And obviously got the win against tough Brian Kelleher. Brian Kelleher was throwing bombs and was trying to take his head off. But props to Cody Stamann for finishing the fight. You can't imagine what he's going through. Losing a brother, younger brother. Just crazy times for everybody. And something like that to happen. Just like me, a couple episodes ago, 49, I talked about losing my grandmother. It's just not easy, man. And for him to do what he did, to go in, finish his training camp, come in, do the face-offs, weigh in, all within COVID-19 protocol and all this stuff. Go out there, put a performance he did. Amazing. My hats are off to him. And Oh no, who knows what's gonna happen? He's a 135 pounder. This fight was 145 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 145 pounds. He wants to go back to 135 pounds. So we'll see what happens. You heard me call out the dogs. Maybe Stamen versus what's his name is next. What's his name? I just forgot it. Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean O'Malley. Who knows? Who knows? You're probably looking at the next fight. One of the Devin Clark was out on the beat Alonzo Menefield. One of the fights I didn't watch. I remember what I was doing. I forgot. I think maybe it was cooking, eating. Probably eating, if anything. Go figure. Devin Clark came out. I tweeted it out. Or not a tweet, but I Instagrammed. Put it on my story, I believe. Came out showing the support for the Black Lives Matter movement. Kneeling and throwing the fist up during his introduction, which is pretty cool. I thought it was cool. Ended up getting the dub, too. Looks like it was a hard fought. Because when I caught the end of it. And he was all cut up, and they were beating the shit at each other in the cage. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it. But that was it. Yeah, UFC 250 was amazing. Great card. Fun to watch. Very emotional. Given the circumstances, given what's going on. It's crazy times right now. But that was just a breath of fresh air. I totally forgot what was going on when I was watching the fights. I was live tweeting to the fight, so you can find me on Twitter at Sports Plus Life is where I tweet from, or MRAKACO. You can also find me on Instagram, Sports Plus Life, and MRAKACO, and Twitch, MRAKACO, which I'll be streaming here today. And yeah, you can follow along. We discuss amongst yourself. You guys remember that from Saturday Night Live, Mike Myers? Anyways, none of you guys don't remember. All 7 of you won't remember. But after the fights, I wanted to lead in with the fights because they deserve it. Everyone on that card deserves praise. Everyone fought hard, fought well, put on a great show, and entertained us in a crazy ass time. Shortly after the fights, Conor McGregor tweeted, selfishly, that I've decided with more consideration that I'm going to retire from fighting. Come on. First off, very selfish. You could have waited till fucking Monday, today, or Sunday to do this. But instead, you had to do it right after the fights were over. Take the shine away from Emmanuel Nunes, who just completed history by being the champ, something Conor McGregor knows nothing about, and defending the championships. Defending both championships. Something Conor McGregor knows nothing about. But instead, he wanted to make it about himself. They didn't think this through. Conor McGregor's not retiring. Let's get that straight. There's no way a guy who craves attention this much is going to retire from this sport. There's no way. We'll hear about another fight with him here very soon. I guarantee it. Apparently, and this is why, same thing, I'm taking my ball and leaving with it. They wanted to make the Justin Gaethje fight versus Khabib in September. And then instead of making Conor McGregor versus Gaethje. Listen, man. There are a lot of other fights that Conor McGregor could have taken. Could take another Diaz fight. Probably could have taken a Jorge Masvidal fight. The one thing I never fault Conor McGregor for, and I've said this before, I'm never going to fault the guy for not fighting. He'll fight. He'll definitely fight. But this is one of those cases where he's not going to be the company man and say, well, I'll wait for this fight. Sure, I'm waiting this long. I'll do this. And plus, there's no way Conor McGregor is going to end his career beating Cowboy Cerrone. There's no way he's going to do that. There's still so much more for him to do in this sport. Believe it or not, there's still a lot of cool fights he could make and still make a lot of money, because we all know it's all about the money for him. If it's not about the money, you wouldn't be walking around in these Lambos, walk around in these Versace shirts, these stupid robes, wouldn't be buying all these watches. There's no way. Just isn't no way. And the reason why his company, Proper 12 Whiskey, is doing good, because he's fighting. He has somewhere to put it out there. UFC fights. He has a contract right now with UFC, sponsorship contacts with UFC to get Proper 12 out there. But a lot of people don't notice that because he's not going to be fighting. If he's going to be fighting, no one's going to notice a Proper 12 back there. They're like, oh, I need some whiskey. No, it's because of him. There's no way he leaves this fight game. But very, very selfish. He could have waited a day or two. But no, I had to go out there. And then he posted a picture of his cake. Oh, happy retirement, Daddy, which Ben Askren later retweeted. It took me a second to look at it. This cake is from Dylan Dennis. If you guys don't know who Dylan Dennis is, he's just, he's a Bellator fighter. Credentials, a good jiu-jitsu fighter. Right now, I think he just broke his leg not that long ago. No, it was Vinny Magalesh who broke his leg, I believe. I don't know, but Dylan Dennis, I think he's out right now with training with the injury anyways. Bellator fighting. Which leads me to, I'm talking about Bellator fighting, and leads me to people wanting to step away from the game. Being released from the contract. John Jones, who we talked about not too long ago. Jorge Masvidal just came out saying the same thing. And now Conor McGregor taking his ball and running. Talking about wanting more money. Now, Dana White came out and said after, UFC 250 and his post-fight presser, and I agree with him. We live in a crazy time right now. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows how many people are going to have money? He doesn't know what's going to happen with the company here in a couple months. He's just trying to keep the ball rolling. He's trying to keep the bus moving, as he said. Who knows is going to have money to buy these pay-per-views? John Jones, I don't know the exact number. I heard 10 million. I heard 30 million. They wanted to fight Francis Ngannou. Does John Jones deserve money? I believe so. I get it. I think John Jones does deserve money. Jorge Masvidal, and I've said this before, he's taking advantage of it. What have you done for me lately? Well, he's shown what you've done for me lately. He wants more money. And he talks about being in this game 16 years, but inconsistently 16 years. I mean, if you guys ever watched Bellator, he actually was on the first Bellator card. Ended up winning that fight. He also another card where he got choked out by an inverted triangle. He's had some boring fights in the UFC. Damian Maia, I believe. I'm trying to think of someone else, but there's a consistency thing here. John Jones definitely has it. Checks all those boxes. As far as fighting goes. Same thing with Conor McGregor. He'll come out here and fight. He'll put on entertaining fights. He checks all those boxes. Consistently, he'll put out entertaining fights. So, there's a lot of different... Why do I forget? I'm just spacing the shit out. A lot of different variables here. For people who want a lot of money. But do they check the boxes? Anyway, I'm talking about Bellator. Where are you going to... where would anyone go right now? No other organization is up and running right now. ONE FC, no ONE FC, no Bellator, no World Series of Fighting, which I think is a fight league, or I can't remember what it's called, PFL, Professional Fight League, I think is what it's called now. There's nowhere else for these people to go. Like, no one else can go out and fight anywhere. Bellator's not putting it. They haven't announced a return yet for fights. UFC is putting on. He's making chicken. I've said this before. Making chicken salad of chicken shit. Is what they're doing. They are trying to keep people's incomes coming in. They're doing their best to put these fights on. They're doing the best to entertain us as well. So mad props to UFC. I don't blame the UFC for being like, listen, we got bigger fish to fry. Like, how are we going to keep all these other thousands of employees head afloat? I think giving somebody more money and people going on Twitter, not like men, but going on Twitter and saying, release me from my contract and I'm retiring, I just don't get that shit. But with that being said, who knows what's going to happen next month or the month after? No one knows what's going to happen next week. There's still protests going on weeks, probably a couple more weeks. Who knows what's going to happen? There's so much other shit going on in this lovely earth that I'm sure Dana White and everyone else has their attention elsewhere. I don't blame him. But Conor McGregor is not retiring. He's not going to leave this sport. Not anytime soon. 31, 32 years old, still in his prime. Yeah, give me a break. Give me a fucking break. Come on, man. That was so selfish. I didn't like that shit at all. That pissed me off. What do you expect from a guy who punches old people and, fights old people, throws, dollies into a bus with more innocent people in there? What do you expect from a dude like that? This is what it is. Props to him as a fighter taking fights. Kind of a douchebag, though. Douchebag move. It's really bad. All I had scheduled today, all I had to talk about was a lot of fighting. This shirt, though, this one was made by Edgar as well. Edgar made my 50th episode shirt. Made this one for me as well. I will tag him in here so you guys get to get a hold of him and see if we can hook you up with a couple of shirts. He hooked me up because I'm his homie. We're named Edgar. We're Edgar Kang for life, por vida. We have the 3 little dots right here. We're not tacuaches, as people. If you guys don't know I don't even know what a tacuache is. We don't have the stupid fucking haircut that Edgar's have that people like posting about. Get out of my face with that shit. But I think baseball. Let me see. I pulled it up here. Where's it at? Source. All right. Damn it. Hold on. I just had it. Let's see if we refreshed here. The MLB proposal to union has 76 game season, so they did another proposal. 76 game season and then 75% payout players prorated salary. Over 76 game season, about 76 game season, about $1.432 billion in total compensation. Of that, $989 million would be in straight salary, and $443 million in money paid if the playoffs take place. Because of fears of second wave, the coronavirus league has said it wants to end the regular season September 27th and have its postseason go no later than October. So baseball, we'll see, man. Baseball, honestly, at this point, all the stupid negotiations just show how shitty the league is, how shitty baseball is, how outdated baseball is. Baseball is it's always been in a flux. No, I remember I don't know too many people, a lot of people that go to the games to watch baseball. A lot of people go to party. It's not a standard anymore. It's not. It's just not a. It's not a sport I would like my kid to play if I ever have one. Like, I would do anything in my power to keep him from playing it. So many politics. It's not fun for a lot of people anymore. Is the money crazy? Yeah, it is. I mean, it's very. I think you take a look at the way the sport is set up. It's a slow sport, methodical sport. For quick bangers, just quick hit a ball, catch it, throw it to the first baseman, slide, dive, take a ball, you hit it out in the outfield, outfielders chase after it, maybe gun someone out at home plate, first place, second plate, second base. It's just not, for what the people are getting paid and what we're actually worried about right now, it's just not worth it anymore. I don't want to watch baseball. When baseball comes back, what the fuck am I going to watch? I'm not going to watch it. I don't think I've watched it now with all these people here. For me, it's just not. I'd rather no one get paid. No one played baseball. Just throw the season away. Because they still can save a season. They still can have a full season, like almost a pretty good chunk of season. And I'm still making it entertaining, but what's not entertaining is these negotiations people are going through. Owners are selfish. Everyone's just selfish and just throw away the whole season to start over next year. 2021, we'll see baseball again. Yeah, I just don't get it. But anyways, I wanted to start out with the good news, the good card, the breath of fresh air. given what's going on in this world right now, the UFC 250, and UFC has done a great job of giving me breath, just me in general, a breath of fresh air from everything. So, props to the UFC. Props to you guys for tuning in to Sports Feels Like Podcast, episode number 51. That's all I got. That's all I have. I'm going to try to make this better next time. I'm getting better here. You might even see a new intro here. I'm working on it right now as we speak. New intro, new logo for show. You saw it on last Sports Feels Like Podcast. But that's it. Holler at me. Hit me up. MRAKACO, Instagram and Twitter. Sports Plus Life, Instagram and Twitter. Twitch, MRAKACO. YouTube.com/Sports Plus Life. Hit me up. What you guys want to talk about? You guys, whatever. What you guys want me to change? I'm open to everything, but I'll block out everything. I don't want to talk. I'm doing things my way, like Frank Sinatra. Couple things to look. I might talk about next time. Just give you a heads up. Ric Flair farewell on the WWE Network. Last Ride, Undertaker, WWE Network. In Your House happened last night. I wasn't that impressed. And then Bruce Lee, Like Water, still got to watch that. And coming up, The Longest Summer, The Long Yard Summer, came the Mark McGuire and the Sammy Sosa one coming up. Keep your eye out for all that. But NBA will be returning soon. Trainings will be turning soon. Football training camps will be starting next month. A lot to look forward to. So given we're all safe, everything's Gucci, we'll be all right. So more content coming soon. Sports with Life Podcast. Thank you for joining me. Episode number 52 next week. I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully this shit worked. Because I recorded 10 minutes earlier without this damn mic plugged in. And I will see you guys next time. Later.